Hey there. Okay, so do you struggle with stress and anger and like resentment? Probably, like most of us do. And so, one thing that I've been doing, or one thing that I've learned that I need to do in order to kind of help alleviate some of that stress, some of that aggravation, is to learn to set boundaries. So, I'm like someone who I would kind of take on other people's problems. So if someone, I don't know why, people come to me and they tend to share their problems, and I'm like the type of person, even though I have my own things going on, I will still try to figure out that other person's issue or problem. So one thing that I've learned is that I can't I can't take on other people's issues. Like I have my own and things that I have to deal with. So I had to learn to set boundaries. Like it's okay to tell people no, or it's okay to listen to someone without necessarily trying to come up with a solution to solve their problems or to help them. And by setting boundaries, you alleviate some of the stress. You can also tell people no. Like if someone comes to you and they're loading their problems or burdens or whatever on you, you can let them know that you don't have time for it, or you're sorry that you can't do it at that moment. There are polite ways to decline from taking on extra work. Also, you got to learn to say no when it comes to like work or like family or friends or whatever. If you know that your plate is full and that you're already stressed and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do all of the things you have to do, you have to learn to say no when someone comes and they try to shove something else on your plate. You can't worry about pleasing people. You can't worry about whether or not they're going to get mad or whatever. You have to put you first, because if you aren't at 100%, there's no way you can give 100% to this person or that person. You have to learn to accept what you can accept. Only you know what is too much for you to do or not do. So, I mean, I think by setting boundaries, I'm learning to have less, well, I'm having or dealing with less stress, and it's like less anger. And like sometimes sometimes you may take on a job or a task or something just because you think someone really needs you to do it, or it just feels like it's the right thing to do, but you don't really want to do it. And so you like have anxiety and you're like worried about it, and you really don't want to do it. You dread it. And it's like, why say yes to that if it's not something that you absolutely have to say yes to? So learn to set boundaries. I think it will alleviate some of the anger and resentment that you may find. It alleviates some of the stress, kind of gives you a sense or feeling of peace, because I know, like for me, I would tend to take work home, unlike work related stuff. And then I had to realize, like, when I'm home and I'm doing work related stuff, even though I'm trying to solve other people's problems, I'm being taken away from my family. And you only have a few hours, really. You probably spend more, well, of course, awake time in the day. You're spending more of that time with the people at work than you are with your family. So spend that time with your family and your friends and leave the work stuff where it is. Like, you have to learn to set boundaries and set up your own little safe space. So I hope this kind of helps someone if you're like thinking about something, like should you take on that next task or accept that next job, whatever it is. Like if you don't really have to do it and you want your peace, and you know that taking on or accepting that whatever it is, accepting it is going to bring you stress, anxiety, then it's not worth it. Like you have to learn to say yes to yourself, like to your own health, your family, your friends, at some point. So I hope that helps. Hope you found value. And until next time, stay or try to stay stress free and learn to set healthy boundaries.